Hello, welcome back to another Friday and another edition of our Heartland Journal's 3 in 3, where I run down the 3 stories of the week the mainstream media either forgot to tell you or ignored. In about 3 minutes, or as fast as I can get it out. Let's go. Number 1. Washington Post CEO Will Lewis stepped down after stormy tenure. His departure came days after the company cut 30% of the staff. Mr. Lewis left 3 days after the company, facing years of financial losses, undertook a significant round of layoffs that cut 30% of the staff, more than 300 journalists, decimating the Post's local, international, and sports coverage. Marty Baron, the celebrated former editor of the Post, called it one of the darkest days in the history of one of the world's greatest news organizations. In a news release announcing Mr. Lewis's departure, Mr. Bezos said that the Post has an essential journalistic mission and an extraordinary opportunity. He added, "Each and every day, our readers give us a roadmap to success." Sorry, Jeffrey. The Post's post-Watergate reputation has been ruined with anti-Trump and pro-intelligence community, also anti-Trump, bias. It's over for the once great newspaper. And you did it to yourself, being political. Stick to selling books and launching rockets, sir. Jeff Bezos was reportedly angry with now former CEO Will Lewis partying it up in San Francisco during Super Bowl week, right as he was laying off hundreds of employees at the paper, per the Financial Times, a competitor. The Washington Post Guild, that has been a voice for employees at the company since 1934, represents 1,000 people across the newsroom, including award-winning journalists, said in response to the layoffs, Will Lewis's exit is long overdue. His legacy will be the attempted destruction of a great American journalism institution. But it's not too late to save the Post. Jeff Bezos must immediately rescind these layoffs or sell the paper to someone willing to invest in its future. Good luck with that. Based on historical analysis, Warren Buffett estimated the intrinsic value of the Washington Post Company in 1973 to be between $400 million and $500 million. At the time, the market capitalization was only $80 million, indicating a significant undervaluation. Calculations suggested owner earnings of only $13.3 million, with valuations ranging from $195 million to $350 million, depending on the discount rate used. On the New York Stock Exchange, symbol GHC for Graham Holdings, named after Katharine Graham. She led her family's newspaper from 1963 to 1991, including Watergate. Today, its market cap is $5 billion or 166 times earnings per share, a 14 times increase in over 50 years. Like I said, good luck with finding a buyer at that price offering such low returns. You can read Heartland Journal for free. Number 2 story the big guys won't tell you anywhere else. Trump administration scolds Mamdani for executive order reaffirming sanctuary protections. The administration's rebuke comes as the president has threatened to freeze federal funding for sanctuary jurisdictions like Trump's hometown of New York City. Mamdani's order instructs all municipal agencies to ensure compliance with existing sanctuary laws, which bar city employees from assisting federal authorities in most forms of immigration enforcement. The order also directed certain public-facing agencies, including the NYPD, to have their employees undergo new training on sanctuary restrictions. The executive action did not otherwise enact any new restrictions. The DHS rebuke comes after Trump threatened last month to significantly slash federal funding for all sanctuary jurisdictions in the U.S. He gave cities a February 1st deadline to roll back their sanctuary protections or face funding cuts. But that deadline came and went without any immediate cuts in New York City. Many officers who weighed in following Zohran Mamdani's win in November warned of mass retirements, reduced morale, and increased risk for civilians. Mamdani's plan to replace NYPD officers on PATH outreach teams with transit ambassadors prompted strong reactions. "You're going to get hurt," one Police One reader wrote. "It's just a matter of when." Another added, "Wait until the first ambassador gets stabbed or shot." Several readers said these situations often involve individuals in crisis who may be armed. "A social worker showing up to a domestic dispute, lives will be lost," one commenter wrote. Another said, "No one in their right mind would do this alone, without police involvement." 4,209 New York City police officers resigned effective the moment Zohran Mamdani was sworn in. "We waited as long as we could for some assurances that he wouldn't try to bring communism to our city," said Police Union President Ron Joubert. "He wouldn't sign a pledge, so we can't keep working." The walkout means nearly 10% of New York's police force has vanished in the blink of an eye. Last story, number 3. more from the 60th Super Bowl. Congratulations, Seahawks, for your decisive win over the Patriots on Sunday at Super Bowl 60. Sam Darnold becomes the first USC Trojan quarterback to win a Super Bowl since it began in 1966. Fight on! Where the game is played makes a difference to players' wallets. California imposes a jock tax on Super Bowl players, taxing a prorated share of their earnings based on duty days spent in the state, with a top marginal rate of 13.3%. Due to this, players can owe more in California taxes than they earn from the game itself, with estimated liabilities exceeding $200,000 for some. That train to nowhere isn't free, folks. According to early viewing figures, Turning Point USA's All-American halftime show struggled to make an impact against Bad Bunny's performance. While Bad Bunny sang alongside Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin, Kid Rock was joined by country singers Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett. The initial 25-minute broadcast of the All-American halftime show was viewed approximately 4 million times. The New York Times reported slightly higher numbers, noting that the show drew 6.1 million concurrent viewers on YouTube. The All-American halftime show aired on Turning Point USA's social media channels, including YouTube and X, and on various conservative networks, including Real America's Voice and OAN. The All-American halftime show has over 19 million views on the official Turning Point USA YouTube channel. In comparison, Bad Bunny's performance drew around 128 million. This would make the Puerto Rican singer-rapper's set one of the most watched halftime shows in history, though a little behind Kendrick Lamar's 133.5 million record set last year. We love music here at Heartland Journal, as you may have noticed with the Heartland Awards. Voting open now at heartlandjournal.com, so we are sad to report. Three Doors Down lead singer and co-founder Brad Arnold passed away on February 7, 2026 at age 47 after a battle with stage 4 kidney cancer. He died peacefully in his sleep, surrounded by family. A strong believer in Jesus, Arnold, known for hits like Kryptonite, had previously announced his diagnosis in May 2025. Now home with the Lord. Another 90s artist, Greg Brown, the founding guitarist for Cake, has died. The band's social media account announced the news today, saying he passed after a brief illness. It is with heavy hearts that we share the news of Greg Brown's passing after a brief illness, Cake posted. Greg was an integral part of Cake's early sound and development. His creative contributions were immense, and his presence, both musical and personal, will be deeply missed. Godspeed, Greg. Today being February 13th, it is also the anniversary of Waylon Jennings passing on this day in 2002. We love the Outlaws. Both James Dean and Vince Neil of Motley Crue were born this week on February 8th, and the great Burt Reynolds, Bandit, had a birthday on the 11th. He would have been 90. Rest in peace, superstars, and happy birthday, Vince. Side note, let's call it number 3.1. Another House Republican announces he's retiring, brings total up to 30. Representative Mark Amodei, Republican from Nevada, announced his retirement from Congress, making him the 30th House Republican not running for re-election this year. That's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed it. For stories like these and more, check out heartlandjournal.com and our Substack, Facebook, TikTok, X, and YouTube channels. Just give us your email address and we'll deliver to your inbox for free. We want to keep in touch with you. As always, thanks for doing it and pass it around. Mainstream media won't tell your friends this stuff. See you next week for another Heartland Journal's 3 and a little more than 3. And hey, consider buying a hat and shirt. You advertising for us is the only way we grow. Glory to God.